Welcome on in, grab your seat, and join me courtside as we talk your Miami Heat. Welcome on into another edition of Miami Heat Basketball Beat. I'm your host, Michael Furley, and I want to thank you all so very much for joining me today. And while you're at it, do me the favor, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted to when our next shows come on out. For those following along, we're doing a little bit different this time. We're doing some different versions of the show, and I need your guys' help. Let me know which version you like best, so we'll tailor the way we format our show to what you guys enjoy the most. This one is version 2, going to be less about the highlights, more about the numbers, and more about how we break down what we saw on the court in terms of style, philosophy, and coaching decisions. So let me know which way you like the best of these two styles. Again, this is version 2. Let me know which version you like better. All right, getting into this game, we had your Miami Heat taking on the defending champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. OKC came in at 35-7. Your Miami Heat off a devastating loss to the Boston Celtics. Boo, boo, boo. Are coming in at 21-20, holding on to that 8th spot in the East. And we had a lineup change this time as we had 3 major players out for your Miami Heat. Tyler Hero, Davion Mitchell, and Jaime Jaquez were all out today, making it our 14th different starting lineup for the year. Kasparas Giacochonis, Norm Powell, Pelle Larsson. Oh, we love Pelle so much. Pelle Larsson, Andrew Wiggins, and Bam Adebayo. So our lineup was going to look a lot different, not only our starting lineup, but also our bench. And let's just get right into this game. This is the second time we're playing the OKC Thunder in about a week's time. And for the third straight game, Bam Adebayo came out of the gates on fire. He scored 12 of the Heat's first 14 points of the game. And all over the place. You got a short hook, 17-foot jumper, three-pointer mixed in there as well with a couple free throws. So he really had it working all over the place, really taking a Chet Holmgren. He's finally starting to realize what his competition is and making the right plays regarding that type of player. He doesn't have the length on Chet, but he's got the strength. Go in there with a shoulder before you do a fadeaway. Don't pump fake on someone like Holmgren because he can just reach over and smack down your late shots on the secondary shot fakes. So he went with purpose, went right into a move on a quick shot each time, and it was very effective, especially to start out the game. And the tone of this game was also set with our secondary players as we attacked the glass as we've been getting killed on the boards as of late. But Pelle Larsson started off the action without 6-minute mark, getting an offensive rebound and put back to give us a 20. That can't be right. 29-22. That can't be right. No, I had a typo there. Cut the deficit down to 3 at 22-19. Spo changed his rotation. If you recall here on our game against the Suns, he went with Powell playing the entire first and third quarter. I thought that was a decent strategy, even though our third quarter wasn't very good in that game. I like the fact that he had Powell, but this time he went Fontecchio as his first player off the bench, came in for Powell at 6:13. And Fontecchio had a really fine game today. Once he was in there, we again kept attacking the offensive glass. Wiggins had a put back dunk off an offensive rebound. We had Fontecchio had a put back layup. Then again, with about 4.5 minutes ago, Jovic was our second player off the bench, came in for Larsson, as well as Drew Smith came in for Kasparas Giacochonis at that 4:29 mark. And where was our last sub in the game at 2:40 in the first quarter, coming in for Adebayo, but at that same time, Powell came in for Wiggins. So in the first quarter, there was not a second on the floor where we did not have either Powell or Adebayo. Thank you, Spo, as that was the start of our falling apart in our last game where he went almost 6.5 minutes, maybe even close to 7 minutes in the third to fourth quarter without either Bam or Powell on the floor. And that's where I think we lost the game. Our last loss was a Spo loss, no doubt about it. All right, finishing up the first quarter here, Miami shot 12 of 27, 44%. Not good, but not devastating. But 4 from 11 from 3. That's good enough. But OKC started off on fire, shooting 15 of 21, 71.5%, and making 4 of 8 of their three-pointers. Our top scorers throughout that first period was Adebayo with 12. Fontecchio came in, chipped in with 5, as he had that put-back offensive board and a three-pointer. Powell only had 1 3-point made basket at 3 points. I think Wiggins had 4 points there. Got a little bit of typos on here on my stat sheet. And Larson only had 1. Jovic did get a layup at near the buzzer of the first period. So, Adebayo was by far our best offensive player through one period. Although with the hot shooting of OKC, we were down 37-30 after one frame. All right, moving along to our second quarter here. I don't know what Spo was doing as he made a sub at 11:24. Why did he just start the quarter with this change? He brought in Pella back in for Fontecchio at 11:24. Very interesting here. So we had Adebayo out, but Powell was in. OKC got to their largest lead to this point, an 11-point lead, 42-31 with 11 minutes left in the second period. But we had a mini run here with Ware and Pella Larson on a 7-2 run to get that down to a 44-38 score here as your Heat were down by 6 with 6:13 left in the second period here. He brought in Fontecchio for Jovic at 8. I'm a little out of order here at 8:27. Maybe that was 8:13. I've got a lot of typos. I apologize. We had a great play where Larson attacked Chet, drove right at Chet Holmgren, went right into his chest, and did a layup over the big man to keep the lead at 6 for Oklahoma City. So at 7.5 minutes left, we were down by 6, 46-40. Then Spo brought in Wiggins for Drew Smith and also Kaz for Powell. So at the 7:10 mark in the second period, we had neither Powell nor Adebayo on the floor. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's doing it. But he only did it for about 40 seconds as he did bring in Bam for Ware at 6:24. However, in those 40 seconds, we did have a -3. So we only had both of Bam and Powell off the floor for 40 seconds as Bam came in for Ware. Myron Gardner then came in for Pella Larson at 6:24. And man, was Myron Gardner's presence felt almost right away. He had a 9-0 personal run in just over a minute span from a 6:24 to 5:01. Cut the lead down from 52-40, which Oklahoma City was up by 12, their largest lead of the game. That 9-0 personal run from Gardner cut it down to 52-49. During that run, however, OKC's Jalen Williams suffered a hamstring injury, would leave the game, and would not return. That is a big absence for OKC. After that, we had a 4-0 run from OKC and then a 5-0 personal Fontecchio run as he was doing great work off the glass. So we're now down by 2 points with 2:52 left to go in the second period. So the score is 56-54 in favor of Oklahoma City late in the second period. A little bit after that, we had Powell hit a transition three-pointer to get the lead down to 1 point. We were trading baskets at this time. Bam hits 2 free throws to once again get it to a 1-point lead. Our first lead, I think, of the game, actually. We had a 59-58 lead with 1:26 left in the second period. However, a 5-0 run here, actually a 7-1 run to close out the period here for OKC, extended their lead back to 5 points. They were up 65-60 at the break going into halftime. So at the break, let's look at our point leaders right now. Adebayo only had 2 points in the second quarter. He's now our leader at 14 points. Fontecchio, however, up to 10 points, scoring 5 points in each of the first and second period. Drew Smith got a basket at 1 point in there. Gardner, of course, with that 9-0 run. Powell added 5 points there, but Larson had 6 points. So our leading scores in that period was Myron Gardner at 9 points, Pella Larson at 6, Fontecchio and Powell at 5. So we are down by 5 points at halftime. We did outscore the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second period, 30-28. All right, now we're going to the third quarter where it is really hit or miss which way this game is going to go. But Miami started out on a 19-10 run to get the lead, 79-75 with 7:19 left in the third period. And our top 3 players scored all of the points. Norm Powell had 3 3-pointers, scoring 9 points. Wiggins had a 3-pointer plus a couple baskets to get 7. And Bam hit a 3-pointer as well in that stretch. So those 19 points were all scored by Powell, Wiggins, and Bam. Those guys, our entire team went 5 for 6 from downtown in that span. Our only miss was Pelle Larsson. So those 3 players I mentioned, they were 5 for 5 from downtown. Truly an impressive start to the third period. Now we're getting back into the Spo rotations here at 6:11 in the third period here. He brought in Fontecchio again, was his first bench player in for Wiggins. Gardner now comes in earlier in the third period for Powell, and Drew Smith came in for Kaz. So we have Bam on the floor, but Powell is out at this middle point of the third period, and we have the lead here, 79-75. And Fontecchio kept it going with another offensive rebound and tip-in. Our lead now is at 4 points, 84-80 with 5 minutes left in the third period. And then Spo brings in Jovic for Larsson at 4:58. I'm holding my breath. Gardner gets an awesome offensive rebound, put-back dunk to keep the lead at 87-84. They are chipping away slowly, but we still have the lead with 4:40 left in the third period. Then we have another sub here where Ware comes in for Bam. So once again now, we have Bam and Powell are out of the game at the same time. And again, it was for only 40 seconds, but during that 40 seconds, we're a -4. So in only a minute and 20 seconds without Bam and Powell on the floor, we're a -7 in only a minute and 20 seconds. I don't know what's the difference in putting Powell back in right away or letting him go 40 seconds. It's not like he's getting extra rest in that 40 seconds. Bring him back in. Why are we having both these guys off the floor at the same time? I will say he learned a little bit of a lesson. Instead of having 6-7 minutes with those guys off the floor, it was only a minute and 20 seconds, and they were broken up in 2 separate stints. But both times we were minus in that short period of time. Not good at all. So at 3:02, he brought Powell back in for Fontecchio. And then towards the end of the third period here, Kel'el Ware had a monster put-back dunk on an offensive rebound. We have a 1-point lead. And then, we have to bring it back within a 1-point deficit as we really were struggling in that last 3 minutes there. And then we had a Jovic free throw towards the end of the period to tie the game. We were tied at 95 at the end of 3. We did outscore the OKC Thunder 35-30 in that frame. So our third quarter was not a turd quarter as we were able to outscore the OKC Thunder by 5. And now our point leaders going after 3 periods here, rather. Bam Adebayo added 6 points, so he has 20 points through 3. Powell had a nice stretch there with those 3 3-pointers in a row. Now he has 17 points. Fontecchio is third in scoring at this point with 13. Wiggins and Gardner both have 11, and Larsson has 8, while Ware has 7, and then Jovic and Larsson 3 and 5 respectively. All right, so we are tied here. We are still sticking with whoever finished that period there with so we have Powell, Ware, Jovic, Smith and Gardner are in right now to start the fourth period. And in the first minute of the fourth period, Nikola Jovic misses 3 shots in a minute of game time. You know how hard that is to do? Misses 3 straight shots, but he stays in a little longer than that. And then Wiggins comes in for Jovic at 9:54. So Jovic played, that's 2 minutes in the fourth period. And when he came in, so he played 7 straight minutes. Ouch, too much time. Too much time indeed for Jovic as he cannot shoot. He can't do anything, to be honest with you. Nonetheless, so we survived that a little bit here. And then they also take Gardner out at that same time at 9:54 for Pelle Larsson to come in. Gardner played 8 straight minutes as well. So Gardner got a lot of run in this game, especially being that he just got back into town that morning for that game as he came in from Sioux Falls at 5 a.m. for that game. So nice job by Gardner. 11 points on 4 of 4 shooting. All right, at the 8-minute mark, we make more subs here. Bam back in for Ware. Kaz back in for Drew Smith. And Bam gets an offensive rebound as it swings around, hits a 3-pointer to tie the game at 100 with 7:39 left to go in the game. We are tied at 100 with 7.5 minutes left to go. Then Spro brings back Fontecchio. So Fontecchio is one getting sprinkled in and out in a shorter burst, but more often. So Fontecchio comes in for Pal at 6:51 left. And after a monster jam from Pelle Larsson, the Heat regained the lead 105-104 with 6:07 to go. And then only 30 seconds later, he brings Pal back in for Fontecchio. So he put Fontecchio in for Pal, and then less than a minute and a half later, he brings Pal back in. So he was giving Pal short rests here. This whole time, no, Bam is at this point. So he's giving Pal like quick bursts of rest. At Cass Yakachonis hits a big corner three, his only made basket of the night, but he hits a three-pointer with 5:22 left to tie the game at 108. Pelle Larsson gets a three-point play to tie it back again at 111 at 4:32 to go. So we were tied at 100, 108, 111. With 3:43 to go, we're down by 2. And Bam hits a three-pointer, his 6th three-pointer of the game, a career high in total of three-pointers made. At 3:43, we get the lead back again, 114, 113. But Shea comes down and knocks down a three of his own as OKC retakes the lead, 116-114 with 3:27 left. Then Bam hits a nice 17-foot jumper to tie the game. So we're tied again at 116 with 3 minutes left to go. We have Norm Powell gets a nice knockaway steal from Shea. And then as we are fouled, as we get a fast break, Pella is fouled. Unfortunately, only makes 1 of 2 free throws. So we're still down 1 point. So it's 2 minutes to go. Dos minutos. And your Miami Heat are down 117, 118. 10 seconds later, Cass fouls out. So we bring Drew Smith in for the last 150 in this game. And honestly, he makes a big-time play later. A little bit of it was luck. A lot of it was also paying attention. I don't know that Kaz would have been able to make this play. So this might have been a blessing in disguise. So let's see. Then OKC has the ball up by 3 with 1:14 to go. And Shea tries a foul bait, pump fakes, jumps into Pelle Larsson. Pelle Larsson avoids the initial contact, takes the shoulder into the chest, and goes to the ground. And Shea gets the offensive foul. The foul baiter gets hooked, as now he is the one getting called for the foul. A big turnover as they were up by 3 with the ball in 1:14 left to go. So a huge play as our Pelle Larsson as just making play after play all over the court, away from the ball. Such a smart role player. He's so good. Such a good connector in terms of our basketball team. So as the Heat come back now down by 3 with a minute to go or so, we get a missed shot from Powell going for 3, but Bam gets a monster offensive rebound as he tries to go back up, gets fouled, makes both free throws, narrows the lead down to a 1-point deficit. So it's 58 seconds left. We are down 120-119, but a huge offensive rebound. If we come down with this with an empty possession, they are going to be up 3 with the ball with under a minute to go, and I fear it's going to be a free throw shooting contest for the rest of the game with them having a chance to ice the game. At this point, this is where Spo, he did so much better. Wasn't perfect with those 1:20 seconds without Bam or Powell, but he finally did what he should have been doing all season long, doing defense for offense, especially when Tyler's playing. He should be doing this in the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, Tyler, but you can't be on the floor in defensive situations. This time he put Fontecchio in on offense for Smith and subbed him back and forth 3 times in this last 45 seconds. You got to do it. You got to do it. We can't have small as it is. You can't. You just got to play the right matchups here on offense and defense in these close games. And with 32 seconds left, coming out of the timeout with Fontecchio in the game, we have a huge play. Powell is trying to work a pick and a high screen from Bam to the right. He rejects the screen, goes left as the OKC Thunder rotate, and they actually do a really nice job rotating. Andrew Wiggins rotates up to the high right wing. We have a spray out to Wiggins with no hesitation, shoots the 3, makes the 3. Your Heat are now up 122-120 with 32 seconds to go. And at the end, we have 2 stops. We don't score again as we're just trying to run the clock out. We OKC goes for an out-of-bounds play after that three-pointer from Wiggins. They go for an alley-oop to Chet Holmgren. It's a pretty good play design, not perfect, but he gets his hands on the ball just outside the rim. Can't quite throw it down as Drew Smith is there to be just enough of a deterrent to make Chet Holmgren have to dunk over somebody instead of getting a clean dunk, and that was enough to make him miss. Adebayo gets the rebound. We call timeout. Powell, once again, is initiating the offense here. Really, we're just trying to run off as much clock as possible. We do that. We get it over to Wiggins again for a three-pointer. Not a bad look, but a little bit of a rush as he didn't catch the ball clean on the pass. He does miss it. They get the rebound with 3 seconds left. We're still at 122-120. And as the OKC Thunder use their last timeout, they advance the ball to the front court. And they have a really nice play as they do a pass into Shea, a pass right back to Caruso, who was the inbounder, steps into a rhythm three. Bam does a very good job of closing out, although he was open when he caught it. Maybe with Bam being a deterrent, we get a little bit of a high shot, hits off the backboard. Caruso misses. Your Miami Heat win this one, 122-120, knocking off the defending champs in a thriller of a victory. Oh my, oh my, oh my. All right, let's look at the final numbers in terms of our box score for your Miami Heat players. Let's start out with how many points were scored in that fourth quarter. Your Miami Heat outscored the OKC Thunder 27-25. Powell finishes with 19 points, only 2 points in that fourth quarter, but he was the initiator as he was doing the drive and kicks on those last two assists of our last two baskets. So he was just had a different role here. Yakichonis only had 3 points. He was 1 for 7 shooting, hit that, but a big three-pointer to tie it in the middle of the fourth quarter. Pelle Larsson, 8 points in the fourth quarter, finishing with 16 points, including huge box outs, huge rebounds, huge and ones, drawing the offensive foul on Shea. It's my favorite player on the team, I think. Wiggins had 4 points in that fourth quarter, finished with 15. Bam! A team-high 30 points, including 10 points in the fourth quarter. He had 12 in the first, 10 in the fourth. Drew Smith had a struggle again, shooting 1 for 8, only had the 5 points. Really is having a hard time shooting here. Fontecchio, 13 points for the game. Ware had 7 points on only, I think, 16 minutes or so. Jovic finished with 3 points. And Myron Garner, the unsung hero that turned around what was looking like a potential blowout in terms of OKC getting a nice big lead for them in the second period, had 11 points on 4 of 4 shooting and 3 for 3 from downtown. All right, quick plus-minus rundown here. Bam was your best at plus 11. All 5 of our starters were actually plus, anywhere between plus 11 and plus 4. All of our bench was minus, except for Myron Garner, who's a plus 6. Our worst plus-minus was Ware at minus 9, and Jovic, once again, was right there. He's either 1 or 2 at minus 7. But this is where we really made up the difference in this game, and we'll break down the stats team-wise. But the rebounding, oh my gosh, the rebounding was spectacular. We had Powell with 4 rebounds, Yakichonis with 5 rebounds and 7 assists for Yakichonis. Pelle Larsson only had 3 rebounds with 1 offensive. Wiggins had 5 rebounds, 3 of those offensive. Adebayo had 12 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds. Smith had 2 rebounds, 1 was offensive. Fontecchio, this isn't right because he had a lot more offensive rebounds than that. He had 5 rebounds. I think 4 were offensive. Ware had 5 offensive rebounds. He had 9 total. If you just see all these offensive rebounds, that's where we won the game. And our final team stats here. Your Miami Heat only had 4 turnovers. Oh my. 4 turnovers, 30 assists. They shot 50 three-pointers. It's a little too high in my opinion. I know a lot of people like the more threes, the better. They shot 50 threes, but they made 20 of them. So they shot 40% from downtown. Had 51 rebounds. 21 of those were offensive. The Heat had 33 second chance points to 9 from OKC. So a 24-point differential. Wow. 24-point differential in the second chance scoring here. A lot of that has to do with how well OKC shot when you make the first one. There's not a chance for the second one, and how poor the Heat shot, but they attacked with getting second rebounds and second chance points. And with all those rebounds, we got up 111 shots to OKC 77 shots. Man, man, man. We had 34 more shots attempts. Again, a lot of that was due to the fact that we didn't turn the ball over only 4 times. They did beat us in fast break points, even with that. Maybe there's some long rebounds in there. But having less turnovers, getting offensive rebounds, we had 34 more shots. And I thought it might have been because they had more free throws, but they had 28 free throws, and so did we. So at the end of the game here, we shot just under 37%. Pretty bad shooting, but again, it took us 2 shots to make 1, and we did it quite often. They shot 54.5%. They had 14 turnovers, 23 assists. They shot 13 of 39 from 3, so they shot not too bad from 3 as well, 33%. I guess that's not great, but not awful. They had 46 rebounds, so we out-rebounded them 51-46, but we out-rebounded them 21-5 on the offensive glass. Again, a lot of that was due to the fact that they made more shots than we did on that side of the ball, but nonetheless, we missed them, and we got them. For their best player of the day, they had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 39 points. He shot 12 of 19, 2 of 3 from downtown, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. He made all 13 of his free throws. Shai was pretty unstoppable once again. As we kept trying to double team him, he just shot really well. He was really doing pretty well. But Wiggins had a couple nice stops at the end of the game, and he had 2 of those. I think both of his turnovers, were in that late fourth quarter. So he only had 2 for the game, but they were both at inopportune times in terms of OKC and very opportune times in terms of your Miami Heat. So your Miami Heat take this one down in thrilling fashion. We finish our 3-game homestand at 2-1, and even though that Boston loss was so devastating, if you would have told me at the start of this week we'd go 2-1 against Phoenix, Boston, and OKC, I would definitely take it. We're now at 22-20, still in 8th place. We're 4.5 games above the 11th seed, so we have that bit of a cushion in terms of plan. We don't want the plan, but we want to also make sure we don't miss it. But we're only 3 games back from the 3rd seed New York Knicks for a chance to improve. So we're closer to the 3rd seed than we are being out of the plan. So that's just good to know here. So again, this is our version number 2, where we don't really show the highlights too much. We just break down the flow of the game, talk a little bit about which players were in when, talk more about coaching strategies. Spo, I don't know why he's so schizophrenic. He was a lot better in that Phoenix game, even though the 3rd quarter was a rough go. But I thought his rotations were much better. And then on that Boston game, I don't know what he was doing. Went haywire, having 7 minutes without Powell and Bam on the floor at the same time, at least. That was in one long stretch, including sitting Ware and only having him play 7 minutes in a game where we were getting out-rebounded left and right. I don't know what he's doing. I feel like he sabotages the game sometimes or doesn't know what he wants. The answers are right there. We talk about it over and over again. It's about the rotations, the types and groupings of players with their skill sets, minimizing Jovic's time on the court, and you're going to get more chances for victories here. All right, before we go, we do have my favorite segment, or most frustrating segment. We're going to do it right here. I like to call this Jovic loses the ball.
Jovic losing the ball.
All right, here's our play for Jovic this time out. And then look at Larson's face. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to show that one again because this is ridiculous. I just want to watch this whole thing again. Just look how clumsy Jovic is.
Nobody there. They're
getting
consistently the Thunder are.
And look at Larson. Usually Larson's barking. He's like, are you serious, dude? God, I have to catch this and save your ass. That's the face Larson's doing right there. I got to save your ass. Yeah. I love Larson's face. Are you effing serious right now? Usually he'd be barking after making over a big guy, but he's like, God, I hate this guy so much. And Jovic's like, yeah, I got an assist.
Nobody there. They're getting to the rim consistently, the Thunder are. Larson and a foul on Holmgren.
And that's the end of this week's Jovic loses the ball.
Jovic losing the ball.
All right, guys. So, yeah, that's all I got right here. That's just funny to me. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Miami Heat Basketball Beat, coming to you after a victory. Again, this is our version 2, where it's less of the highlights, more of the breakdown, more of the strategies and coaching rotations as we talk about that a little bit, and which players did what in the game in terms of their stats. So let me know which version you guys like. Hey, and do me the favor while you're out there, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And just leave in the comment what version you like. Version 1, this is version 2, and we're going to tailor this show to the experience you enjoy the most. With that being said, guys, may you please make your free throws. May your coaches' challenges be successful, and we will see you next time.